Riding Side Saddle. We're back. It's Tammy.
And Lisa.
And it's December.
Oh, we're in the last month of the year.
We are.
It's been a doozy, man.
It's been a humdinger for you, for
I feel
sure.
like I need an award.
Yeah, I would agree.
I made it to number 12.
I would agree. For you, yeah. Maybe I'll make you one.
That would be nice. I'll wear it. I will wear it for the whole fucking month. And then I'll burn that bitch on
Right?
December 31st.
Right?
So I can start fresh.
Yes, right. Yeah. So, December, Christmas.
Yeah, we just got done with Thanksgiving here
Yeah,
at the end of November.
we did. You had your birthday. We had Thanksgiving. Josh's birthday was a week later.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's
busy.
been a lot of activity.
It's just a busy season.
It is, for sure.
For everyone.
Yep.
So tonight.
Then we got talking about Christmas and traditions and
Oh,
yeah, and we were fortunate enough to be able to go to one of our aunt's houses to participate in
a cookie night.
it is a cookie night, but it's a tradition.
Yeah.
So it is something that she has always done it. I don't know if she's missed a year. Maybe when COVID was happening, maybe, I'm not sure. Because I didn't go every year. So I don't know that she ever missed a year.
Mhm.
I know I missed several years.
Yeah.
This was, I can remember as a kid, this cookie making tradition. Even as an adult, I would bring my kids, and it was always the Friday after Thanksgiving, and we would just make cookies and decorate cookies all day long. And it was so much fun. We'd have leftovers, like Thanksgiving leftovers, and get right back to, cookie making and decorating. So it's something that I have missed. I really have missed it.
I have not done this. So you just by nature are a more connected to family person.
True.
And tradition for that matter.
Yep.
Like that is something that has always been very important to you. For a very long time, that wasn't something that I valued as much. The tide is turning for me.
Yeah.
Probably because
You are spending more time with family.
it's probably because I'm hanging out with you.
I'm rubbing off.
It's osmosis. I'm like, fine, I can understand the value in
I
this.
will be there. It's important to her. I'll go.
Well, that's not even actually it. It
Good.
isn't because of you.
Good.
It is because I'm
I mean,
recognizing. It's because I'm recognizing that there's value
is
there
value.
that I have overlooked
Sure.
for a long time.
Right.
And
Just getting a different perspective.
yeah.
Welcome to Riding Side Saddle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just really taking that, right,
I
and
love that.
experiencing it in a
Yeah.
different way. So I haven't been to this Christmas cookie making / decorating event literally since I was a little girl.
Aw.
Like even as a teenager, I had
You didn't
probably
go.
stopped going, and
I don't remember you being there.
it was.
I honestly don't.
I was little.
Yeah.
I was really little. I remember.
And I'm not that much older than you.
No.
So if you were, 10 and not going,
It-
I don't know that even as like that kind of in that age, I don't remember going every year, even with my mom.
Yeah.
We may have, I just don't remember doing it. I do remember when we were really little, and I remember taking my kids, but there's a big gap in between where I
Yeah.
just don't remember.
Well, and I think that, by nature, you kind of navigate away from those types of things just because you're in teenagerhood and
Maybe.
then you're, in your young adulthood
Sure.
and maybe a young mother and really, really busy and
or
all
working. I know I worked a lot of
Yeah.
Fridays after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, I haven't always had that day off.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, as 50-some-year-old women, it was really nostalgic
Yeah, for sure.
to be able to sit around the table with our aunt and cousins and you and another cousin
Yeah.
and her daughter and my parents were
Uncles,
there.
yeah.
And it brought flooding back a whole ton of memories
It
for
did.
me.
Including the dishes that we used,
Yes.
right? Talking about the giant green Tupperware bowl or yellow Tupperware bowl that held all
That
of the
every
sugar
family
cookies,
had.
Right.
It was like a foot soaker, a
Oh,
barf
yeah,
bowl,
yeah.
a popcorn bowl, a Christmas cookie holder. Like,
It was multi-purpose for certain.
Absolutely was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think
You,
my
you got
parents
me
still
at foot
have
soaker.
those.
Like I can't move on.
Oh, I think barf bowl is even worse.
Oh, well, I don't
Because
know.
it was used for that in
Ugh,
my household too. You got to get the big one out.
You do.
There's some,
yeah.
there's some
We
splatter there.
We used a bucket, like the mop bucket. That's what we used.
Yep.
Ugh.
Nope, not us.
All right.
Don't have Christmas
Note to
cookies
self,
at our
no
house.
Christmas cookies. Yeah.
Anyway, it was fantastic.
It was fantastic. It was also really nice to just see. Now, I haven't seen those particular sisters interact in some time. They may have. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see them interacting, and then both uncles interacting together. And I felt like, now you were sitting at the table actually decorating cookies. I was in the kitchen with our other cousin and her daughter, making other cookies. So
You were
I had like
you were screwing some shit up. I will say that.
I put a little too much cherry juice in one of the recipes. I saved it, however. I pulled it together.
It's all right.
I did not ruin Christmas.
I screwed some shit up too. And that wasn't as easy to recover from.
But I had more of a bird's eye view than you did.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like any situation where you're just that half a step removed and you can just observe. It was so beautiful. It was just beautiful. I kept thinking, and I even said once, we really need a picture of this. And nobody was taking a picture. I was like, no, I'm serious. We got to take a picture of this. This is great stuff.
So that somebody in 80 years can look back and like, I
Yes.
don't know who the fuck this person is.
but
which
they're
is-
all over.
Which is exactly what we had been doing right before that.
So that's how the night had started.
Yes.
Aunt Molly was the keeper of gobs and gobs of old pictures. I mean, going back to the 1800s.
Yes.
So I don't connect with all of those people and all of their names. I do that more on my dad's side, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Not for any particular reason other than that's just how it worked out.
Yeah.
Our cousin Laura, she put a lot of that together.
And a lot of effort.
Oh
Ton
my gosh,
of
the
effort.
scrapbook that she put together.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and not just for one side of our family. She did it on our grandpa and our grandma's side.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were going through all of these old pictures, which kind of started the nostalgia train for the evening. And then we put those away and brought the cookies out. But gosh, that history it's invaluable.
It is.
To me.
I agree. And the experience tonight was invaluable.
Yeah.
Right? I'm 50 years old, and
Yeah.
I got to walk into my aunt's house where when I was a little girl, every single week, we would go to Aunt Molly's house.
Yeah.
And my parents would sit down at that same kitchen table
Oh, yeah.
with the same chairs
Yeah.
in particular spots, like the
Everyone
four of
had
them.
their spot.
Everyone had their spot. And I
Yeah.
walked in tonight and I said, the only one who's in the right spot is Mom. And they all looked at me very
Oh.
confused. I'm like, so listen, you may not remember this, but you're supposed to be over here. And then next to
Oh,
you is Uncle Jim,
really?
and then Dad, and then Mom. Because that's
Wow.
exactly how
Did
how
they
it
move?
was. No, they did not. They did not.
So
was-
I remember Aunt Molly always sitting at the head of the table.
Oh, no.
You don't.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It
all right.
must have shifted depending
did at
as
some
to
point.
who was
perhaps,
at the house.
Perhaps.
Interesting.
I don't remember where she sat when we were kids. I just
Oh.
know that's
Okay.
where she sits.
It may have changed through the years.
For sure.
Um,
Obviously it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't at this house.
Oh, it was at their other house.
It was
their
at
first
the
house.
previous house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Gotcha.
it was taking me back like 45 years.
Wow. Whew.
Yeah. It was a
That's a
big
trip.
deal. It was a big deal for me.
Mhm.
So although I don't necessarily like stay very connected to all of the family things,
Right.
I cannot tell you how much I appreciated this.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I'm happy for you.
Me too. Me too.
I'm very happy. Humans are pack animals. We've said this before. And having that connection is so, so important. It really is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even necessarily have to be with your blood relatives, right? Not everybody has relationships that are healthy and can just support a healthy environment. Right. So I'm not at all saying, just because your family, you have to, you don't have to anything.
It has to do more with tradition.
Yes,
right. And that feeling that comes back of like, I was 50 decorating Christmas cookies exactly the way I was when I was 5, sitting at that table with mounds of sugar cookies, like 8 inches high worth of gingerbread men in front of me. And the whole table was full of wax paper.
And the floor.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you just...
And the kids' fingers honestly, they're probably the least hygienic food you ever want to eat.
Entirely.
Yeah.
Entirely. Yeah. But there's a lot of love there.
There was, for sure.
Tonight, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't overly hygienic either.
Well, I didn't take any cookies. We came up with a rule that whichever ones you make, you take. I didn't make any.
Well, I made more than I took, but I made sure not to lick my fingers.
That's fair. That's fair.
I can't account for anybody else at the decorating table.
I think it's really hard not to do that. It doesn't taste all that great. That it's just what is it called? Powdered milk. Yeah, powdered sugar and milk. It doesn't really taste great, but you get something on your finger, you just want to get it off.
Yeah. Uncle Jim did do that.
He did. Well, he's probably going to be the one to eat those cookies.
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
Uncle Jim.
So that was really, really fantastic.
That was really fun tonight. Yeah. I've missed it. I'm so glad I went.
Me too. Mm-hmm. It brought back a lot of good memories.
For sure.
And it was good to see people that I haven't seen in
a long time.
A very long time.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't necessarily know how to handle me.
Well, Aunt Molly might not sleep for a couple of days. She's going to be worried about you.
So ironically, and nothing is a coincidence. So this is all, I blame this entirely on the universe. But
you blamed your parents before.
Well, that too. So they were making, those little peanut butter cookies with the Hershey Kiss in the middle.
Yeah, we made those.
Yeah.
So you dip the peanut butter balls in sugar and then smash a Hershey's Kiss in the middle.
On the top of it, and you bake it.
Yeah.
And they're really delicious cookies.
Yeah.
Well, it reminded me of the post that I put on Writing Side Saddle this morning, which talked about that type of cookie. However, the person making it did not have the Hershey Kisses.
They ran out of the Kiss.
So they used Rolos instead.
Oh, I thought it was a chocolate bell.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was a chocolate bell.
Yeah.
They're pretty close in nature.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same as a bell, though. A Rolo would not do the same thing.
Okay. Fair. So it was a chocolate bell, the kind with the caramel in the middle or whatever. And they baked it on the cookie. And
it melted.
It ended up looking like a boob with a nipple on it. So I thought it was super funny, right? Because this all happened all in the same day. So I lean over to my dad and I'm like, ha ha ha, look what I posted on Writing Side Saddle today. And he thought it was very funny because we both have, this type of sense of humor.
Uh-huh.
And then he starts talking about it in front of Aunt Molly.
Yeah.
To the degree that I had to show her. I had to show her the post. She did not find the same humor.
More than taken aback.
She was mortified.
Appalled.
Yes. Yeah, it was not good.
She's traumatized.
She, her response was, "Oh, who sent that to you?" And then I had to admit that it was me who sent it to other people.
Totally should have lied.
I couldn't. My dad.
Some jerk sent it to me.
My dad
should have said.
Not even a half a breath after me was telling on me.
Oh, no. I missed that.
Yeah. That happened.
So I was making the peanut butter balls. I missed it.
So I'm thankful that
or
I
washing
didn't
dishes.
lie
I don't know.
about
I didn't
it
hear that.
because my
Oh.
dad was telling on me in
Yeah.
the same moment.
I'm teasing. Of course,
Oh
you
my
shouldn't lie, but
gosh.
that was really funny.
So that was a little much.
Yeah, you're not getting invited back.
And she said it too.
I know she did.
Like, that did it.
Oh, I'll
She
bring
did-
you as my guest.
She did not think it was funny. You won't be invited back then.
We might have to start our own tradition then.
I guess. Anyway, it was
It was such a good time.
it was spectacular.
Ugh.
I haven't laughed like that in a really long time.
Yeah.
I haven't spent time with the Hagen family in really
A long
time. So
Yeah.
I very much appreciated it. And it makes, I don't know, it makes the season.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
Those little things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes the season.
For
It's
sure.
something that I am not going to forget. And it warms me.
Yay.
Uh,
I'm happy for you.
thanks. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for you too.
Yeah.
You,
I mean, it was good to be there for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me think about, gosh, we get so hung up, me, when I say we, I mean me. I get so hung up in the responsibilities, the logistics, the making
All the
everything
shoulds.
happen
Yeah.
for what Christmas is supposed to be.
Yeah.
What you have to do, what you should do, what you want to do. But it takes a lot of work.
And a lot of effort, a lot of time. And I don't know. I was just saying this to someone recently that I feel like in my line of work, it gets super busy at the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone's trying to close claims out.
Oh.
They want the books cleared off. Now we have suddenly, 3 months worth of work to do in a month.
Yeah.
It gets crazy every year.
So it adds stress.
Absolutely. And then throw in all of those things that you were just saying,
Yeah.
the things you want to do, the things you should do, the things that you need to do, and it's too much.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It,
Mhm.
it becomes a whole ball of stress.
Yeah.
And that probably isn't unique to your industry.
I'm
right?
sure it isn't.
Like end of year is the thing.
Oh, yeah, it
right?
is for
and
sure.
unfortunately, personal high stress and work high stress collide.
Yeah.
Um,
And then you throw in family stress in there. Like, not everybody gets along.
right.
And so they put on a face for grandma or for mom or, whomever.
or they don't.
Or they
Right,
don't, which
like-
creates stress in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
So this time of season is a lot. Time of year is a lot. It's really, tonight was very lighthearted and joyful,
For sure.
as opposed to feeling like have to or must or should
Yeah.
do. But it got me thinking a little bit about, gosh, just the, when you were a kid, like when we were kids sitting around that table, decorating cookies with icing up to our eyeballs and, and
Yes.
colored sugar up to,
oh my gosh.
the
All
sprinkles
over your
and,
face. Yeah.
because you're not supposed to be licking your fingers,
but you do.
I mean, it's evident
Right.
in every way.
Right.
There was just so much magic there.
There was.
It was just so much magic
tonight
and joy.
was magical.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I got a little bit of that
Mm.
as a 50-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Like 50 perimenopausal, full onboard responsibilities, 2
Yeah.
kids, household,
Yeah.
full-time job, and I got a little bit of that magic tonight.
Oh, that warms my heart so much.
Me too.
So much.
It was really sensational.
Oh.
That also got me thinking about my own kids
Yeah.
and how, you, as we were talking about, you work really hard to create that sense of magic and
Mhm.
joy in your kids because, you felt that maybe
It's Christmas
hopefully
time.
when you were a kid yourself, and it creates a little bit of nostalgia back to when you were a child. Santa was a big part of my kids growing up, right? And that creates a bit of magic.
Yeah. It does, but not everybody does Santa.
You're right.
So I didn't do Santa with my kids.
Yeah.
And I have wondered if I cheated them out of some really wonderful, magical childhood memories. I don't know if I did or I didn't, because they don't have anything to compare it to.
Right.
My parents did Santa, and I remember when I found out, I was so hurt that I had been lied to. And in my house, lying was about the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
So all these years, I have been lied to.
Yeah.
And then I told my brother, who was 2 years younger than me, and I totally ruined it for him. Like,
yeah.
I don't know that, I'm sure his version of this story is different than mine. I don't remember doing it in a malicious way, but I still did it. Like, you need to know this is all a lie.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And do you think that's what sponsored your decision a bit?
I think a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, my kids' experiences with that were very different. My kids are 11 years apart. So, it was like having two only children.
Yeah.
And Deidre, when she found out from somebody at school.
Yeah.
She asked me, I said, "What do you think?" She's like, "I think it's not true." And we talked about it, and that was the end.
Mm.
For Liz, though, she, very similar to you, was extremely hurt. She was angry.
Yeah.
At me. And I think, honestly, the girl's 17 years old. She's
still mad.
I mean, she still holds some resentment about this, because she also was very hurt that she was lied to.
Yeah.
And I wasn't anticipating that, right? I was kind of like, my experience with that was with Deidre.
It'll be fine. We'll talk about it.
Right.
It'll all be fine.
Right.
And it wasn't.
And it was not. So unfortunately, what had happened was something similar, and I don't remember exactly how old she was, but she was at the later age of when kids figure it out. She was starting to ask questions, and I decided that I had seen something on Facebook. It was a letter that a parent had written to their child, telling them essentially about Santa, but also explaining, aspects of, what the tradition really means, and bringing joy to somebody, and all of those things.
Creating magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wrote that letter to her.
Oh.
Holy fuck.
Oh, no.
She was super mad. Number one, now that I know her more as a person, she hates to read.
Oh.
Like, she does not
her thing.
do reading. She will listen every day, all day, but reading is not her gig. And she
But
probably
you like to write.
Yeah. Well, and I thought that it was very
sweet.
It was.
Yeah.
In theory, she probably skimmed the bitch and said, "I see the words that said Santa's not real," and
that
stopped
was all
reading.
she read.
Yeah. Like, she was very, very, very upset.
Yeah.
So that really backfired from my perspective with her.
Yeah.
And she's
still mad.
Well, I asked her if she wanted to come on the recording and talk about it.
Yeah.
And she's like, she thought about it. I mean,
did.
she's not usually the
her.
type of person who would do this, but this one she feels real strongly about.
Oh, wow.
She's like, "You can tell the story, and you can let them know I'm still mad."
Wow.
So that was
Okay.
that was a motherhood bomb.
All right.
I thought that I was.
How would you know, though, when they're little? Like,
Well, it's
their
too late.
personality hasn't come out. Right. You've already started this
Right. It's
story.
too late.
And right.
Anyway. But
So that's, we talked about with Nikki in emotional management.
yeah.
And how your intent when you hurt somebody is not even relevant.
Yeah.
You hurt them.
Yeah.
That's what's relevant. You didn't intend to hurt Liz,
No.
but that's what happened.
It is what happened.
Yeah.
As a young woman, knowing how important truth is,
Yeah.
and trust. Like, trust is a really, really big thing for her.
sure.
And honestly, now that you were talking about, in your household, truth and honesty was like a very big thing.
Yeah.
It was a very big thing for me too. So I taught her that.
Yeah.
And then I turned
then you
around
lied.
and in
Or
essence
created a
lied.
story.
Right.
Right.
My intention was to create magic.
Yes.
And maybe
Not
even
a lie, but
right.
to create magic.
Right. And it's that innocence, that aspect of anything is possible.
Yeah.
That is like that's the piece that you just want to through the Santa lie.
Yeah.
Right? You just want to foster that
Mm-hmm.
and watch that and watch the level of innocence and beauty come through.
Yeah.
Like,
and creativity. You can ask Santa for absolutely anything. You want a pony?
Right.
Ask Santa for a pony.
right.
Right? Like,
well, I don't know that I ever said that.
no.
He can't fit that shit in a sleigh.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you can daydream
Yes.
and create your list.
Right.
And if a pony is on your list,
Right.
it's on your list. It doesn't mean you're going to get one.
Fair.
Or maybe you do, but it's not a real one. Maybe you get the,
Right.
Barbie doll size one.
Right.
But it's that daydreaming. It's the creating,
It is.
right?
And allowing yourself to imagine things that couldn't possibly
Exactly.
possible, right?
Suspend reality and just dream.
A fat man in a red suit hopping in a sleigh and flying through the
With
sky,
8 tiny reindeer. Yeah.
going into your chimney that you
Right.
may or may not even have,
Right.
and
Right.
delivering presents under your Christmas tree. Like,
To every single house
yes.
and apartment
Yes.
in
Every
the
child.
entire world in one night. Yeah.
So Deidre now has Malachi, right?
Yeah.
He's 3. And she questions whether or not she should like follow that through.
Yeah.
He just turned 3, so 2 was a little young
Yeah.
for him because
But
he had
this
just
year-
turned 2. But this year's the year
Mm-hmm.
to be able to like have to decide: are we
doing Santa?
Santa or not?
Yeah.
And
She's running out of time to decide.
yeah, she sure is. I don't know if she's decided. I just haven't asked her about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can see it both ways.
Yeah.
It makes me want her to do it because of that fostering of
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah. Erica did Santa with her kids. I don't know what Emily's going to do yet. Hudson's just 1. So,
Yeah.
that's when it really started to make me, when Erica said she was going to do Santa, that's when I really started to feel like maybe I messed that up. Maybe she really needed to have that Santa. She needed that magic.
Isn't it?
But you don't know. Again,
You don't
when
know.
she was 3, I didn't know.
Right.
She's only 3.
Right. Right. And if you would have done Santa, maybe she might have not done Santa.
Maybe.
Right.
Right.
Like
I'm not
all
sure.
of those things kind of waffle a little
Yeah.
bit, I feel
Mhm.
like. Just, well, this was my experience and this was the part of that I didn't like. So I'm going to do this
Right,
differently.
right.
And that's normal.
Right.
I mean,
It
I do
is.
that.
It is.
I just wish that we could carry through our lives.
A little bit of magic. A little
Yes.
Christmas magic,
Yes.
even as adults.
Even as adults.
It's not even the Christmas magic. It is the...
It's just magic.
Yeah. It is that
The
childlike... Yes.
Ooh, girl, you need to stop doing that shit. Quit jumping into my head and saying my words.
I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Get out of there. You don't want to be in there for very long. You will get fucking stuck in
It's
there.
probably not a whole lot worse than mine.
It's not a great place to be. But
But to carry that childlike magic.
innocence.
Yes, where
And-
anything is possible. Again, it is, excuse me, it is daydreaming and creating.
It is. In the
Even-
best way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No holds barred.
Right. Right. And whether you write that down or you just, I don't know, you're in your car driving somewhere and you just let your mind wander.
Yeah.
If I could have anything, if I could be anything, if I could go anywhere, what would that look like?
And even more importantly, like, what would that look like, right? And you can vision all of that, and you
Sure.
can see it, and you can smell it, and you can even feel it to a degree. But how does it make me feel?
Yeah.
What is the feeling that I get from that?
Right.
And that, like, that's the piece that moves mountains.
It really is. It's magic.
It is.
Yeah. Somewhere, I don't remember where I read this or heard this, but we are, maybe Nikki said it, we are emotional beings having a physical experience.
Yeah.
So feeling, right?
It's what this is
How
all about.
does that feel when you're doing
Right.
that daydreaming? That is what it's about.
It entirely is.
Right. Escape your own reality for a little bit and put yourself in a really, pretty wonderful place just by daydreaming.
And through that process, you might be surprised as to actually what your reality can become.
For sure. I know I said do that in the car, but now I'm thinking you probably shouldn't daydream that hard in the car if you're driving. You have to be present when you're driving.
Yeah.
Be careful where you do it,
Yeah.
but make space to do it.
I actually do much of my best thinking while I'm driving.
Thinking, yeah. Daydreaming feels a little more like,
Hmm.
I'm not paying attention, I'm daydreaming.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't want anybody to crash.
I'm still present.
Because they're daydreaming.
But it is a place where I am isolated,
Yeah.
oftentimes by myself.
Yep.
I
You're
don't
a
have the
captive
music
audience.
on, and yeah. So,
Yeah.
so that's fair. But that ability to be able to think about, daydream about, create inside of your own head
Yeah.
about can truly change aspects of your life.
Well, I think anytime you open up to that,
The possibilities of.
the possibilities of, but also just feeling that good.
Yeah.
It is the whatever you focus on, you're going to get more of. So if you can open that up a little bit and feel that, you're going to get more of that.
It's kind of like the sugar cookie icing I made tonight.
Which one is that?
Well,
Oh, all of them?
pretty much. Pretty much, except for the one that Uncle Jim salvaged. But
He did not have enough sugar for you to make icing.
no, I put too much milk in to
Yeah,
the
powdered
icing.
sugar
So
ratio
then
was off.
It was
By a lot.
which was hysterical. But
Should have just dumped it and started over, honestly.
but really, the point I'm trying to make
So bad.
is that the icing really just it just oozed off the cookies.
Oh, yeah, it did.
And that's what happens when you imagine and you create
you
inside of your
ooze?
head. Well, it oozes into your life,
Oh,
right?
okay.
That
All right.
feeling,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
good,
yeah.
that goodness feeling.
Yeah.
It oozes into other parts of your life,
Right.
just
That
like the
is
sugar
really
cookie
true.
icing. How's that for analogy?
Well, that was oozy. I think sometimes it just helps you press pause when things are so stressful. Everyone's a jerk. Everyone's crabby. Everything's a problem. Everywhere you go, somebody's grouchy. Just push pause on that. Sometimes that's what you need, right?
I'm gonna segue oddly, so forgive me for that. Do you remember when it was several years ago, you and I started a bit of a daydream?
I was thinking about it. I didn't know if I was going to say it, but
Fuck, let's
you
just
are.
say it.
Go ahead.
So, gosh, it was a work day.
It
We
was.
were
I
at
know.
work, and
We were texting.
we talk often.
Yeah.
We talk every day.
We do.
From at least texting for sure. Maybe not talk in person, but texting absolutely.
We communicate every day.
And somehow, I don't even know how it got started, but
It was like, I'm having a terrible day. Yeah, I am too.
that could have been.
I think it started that way, and then it just rolled into
It rolled into
someday when we don't have to have jobs.
it rolled into the most magical
It
scene
was actually.
that I think that I ever played into.
I don't think I've ever. Well, I know I've never daydreamed with someone else like that. I don't know that I've daydreamed myself in that much detail. It was like we were writing a chapter in a book.
We were. It was
Yeah.
absolutely a chapter in a book. Like
Yeah.
you would put in like a small paragraph, very, very explicit details, you know, talking
Yeah.
about the smells and the sights and
the temperature of the air
and then you'd stop and you'd send and I'd read it and then I would start in on my own little portion and connect it.
Right.
And we did that
Back and forth.
Oh my gosh. It brought literal tears to my eyes
too.
multiple times.
Yeah, for sure.
And it
felt so good. Even as we're talking right now, I have goosebumps.
It was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
How long ago was that? 7, 8, 9 years?
Yeah.
And I remember pieces of that like it was yesterday.
I do too.
That's,
I have the whole scene in my head as we're talking.
That's how important that
right
kind
down
of
to
thing
the coats that we were wearing.
Yes.
Yeah, we had described really the entire scene. The boots we were wearing, the coats we were wearing. Yeah.
What season it was.
Yeah.
What was happening at the location.
Absolutely.
It was just so much fun. That was honestly the most spectacular daydreaming I think I've ever done.
I would agree. I've never daydreamed in that detail before. And I've never daydreamed with somebody else.
Me either. I don't think I have either. Not like that.
Not like that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I've done if you could go anywhere, where would you go? You know, that kind of daydreaming.
Right.
But not like in detail. That's just I would go here or I would see that.
That's like an icebreaker. That's
not, for sure.
That's not
It's not really
bearing your
daydreaming.
soul. It was kind of soul bearing.
Kind of was.
Yeah. It was amazing.
So finding ways to create that magic for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of lying to yourself too?
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
It's play.
It's
what we talked about a couple of episodes ago. Create to create.
Right. Dream just to dream.
It was play.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Oh yeah, that was pretty wonderful. We should do that more often.
We should. Do you remember when we were kids, like, and you'd get together with your cousins or you'd play with your siblings or whatever, and you would like create this magical world?
Yeah.
Like
where pretend, make believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I lived, we lived in the country and we had at the back of the property that my parents owned, there was woods and there was some water and things. And some of the trees would like hang down into the water, and we would play out there and create magical lands like we were outer space and for hours and hours. And that's what that felt like to me.
Oh gosh.
Because in our text interaction, I was there.
Yeah.
Like my spirit was there.
I can still see all of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And that I think is the closest to play make believe from when I was a child that I have experienced in my whole life.
That is a really great way to like put that in context. Wow. I never thought about that.
Yeah. We need to play more often.
We do. That really was fun though. We were creative writing together that's really what it was.
It was phenomenal. Maybe we should
do
that.
It reminded me of like you know, if you go to a comedy show, an improv comedy show, where somebody says, I had 6 boots and a dollar bill, and then somebody picks up and, you know, and then it goes back and forth like that. That's what it reminded me of.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. I'm not quite that quick-witted, but
we had plenty of time.
Yeah,
we were doing it in between working. There were long pauses in between, but
it might be fun to do that in like a physical book, like a notebook.
That would be really fun.
And maybe it's not a paragraph each, but maybe it's 3 or 4 pages each.
A chapter. A short chapter.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun.
Oh my word. Okay.
Well, sounds like we're creating as we're doing an episode.
So we gotta go.
We have to go buy a book. Need a notebook and a pen.
Two. 2 pens, 1 book.
Yeah, that could be really fun.
All right. Well, we're going to create just
That
to
could
create.
be really fun.
Maybe we'll share some with you.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Don't know how much of our daydreams we can share. We'll see. Huh. Well, now I've,
I know. It's all brewing in
it
there
is
again.
in there,
Percolating.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. That could be a really fun, like, girls' weekend kind of thing.
1,000%.
Or it could be in exchange,
Yeah.
once a week.
That's more what I
Here's
was
the book.
thinking initially.
It's your
Because
turn.
it would give you enough space to be able to really dive
quietly
into
do
it.
it.
Yeah. I love that.
I do too.
Mm.
All right, we're going to work on that.
Sounds good.
That'll be fun. Well, all right, we're going to create our own magic.
Damn right, girl. Create your own magic.
Create your own magic. That's the title of the episode.
All right.
All right. Well, so I hope at this Christmas season you have a little magic.
Yes.
Or can create a little magic for yourself. It's hard. It's hard.
It is hard.
The holiday season is stressful.
In every sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Take a hot fucking second for yourself to create the magic that you need. Think about what you need and create a little bit of it for yourself.
A little bit. Start with a little.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't have to write a whole chapter.
No.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Or remember something that was magical from your childhood.
Yeah.
And just remember it and feel it. That might be enough too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great place to start.
It is.
All right, friends.
All right. Well, that's the end of this episode, I think.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you. I think that are we coming close to the end of our season?
We're getting there.
Yeah. So I know we've got a snack coming out talking about some fun things that we're doing for December.
Yep.
With all of our outtakes. So that's really fun. But other than that, I think we've got maybe a couple of episodes left. I'm trying to count the weeks in my head, and I'm not sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look really quickly as we're talking about this. We might have 1 or 2 after this.
Yeah. And then we're going to be on a break. Next season is going to look a little different.
It is.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure. I don't have all of the details in front of me, but we'll do a snack on it as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to shift slightly. As you notice, at the end of this season, we aren't doing a book club the way we traditionally do it. Not that we're going to stop doing books, but we're actually going to modify a little bit. There's a particular book that I have been wanting to share and talk through with Tammy. I'll get you the name of it and the author of it in one of our upcoming snacks.
Yeah, I was going to say it, but I think I got it wrong in my head too.
Yeah,
so I'm not going to say it.
I just want to make sure that I say it exactly right.
Yeah.
But it's a more in-depth book, and it really deserves a good amount of time and kind of diving into.
We don't want to rush through it.
Right.
So we are going to spend the vast majority of season 6 reading this book.
Holy shit, season 6.
Season 6.
Ugh, we haven't said that yet.
No.
That's, woo!
Yeah, season 6.
Fuck.
So, yeah, we're going to spend most of season 6.
We are.
Essentially reading this book like in a book club sort of format, but 1 chapter at a time. Or
one
2
or
chapters
a
at
couple,
a time.
Right.
I don't know. We haven't dug
what it's
into it
gonna
yet.
figure out to be.
I don't mean exactly one, but
Yeah.
not like we have to hurry up because we're,
No.
this episode's getting too long. It's not, we won't have that sort of pressure.
Right.
We'll get through what we get through and we'll end when we need to end.
And it's really, I think it's going to be interesting because it's kind of a conceptual book. So a lot of, I think, our own personal is at least what I'm seeing out of it. A lot of our own personal experiences are going to like weave themselves into the conversation about this book. So if you're
it won't
not
be a big rush to get through the book. Then.
No, if you're not a reader, don't worry about that, right? That's not like, if our book clubs aren't your most favorite parts of our seasons.
Yeah, don't stop listening.
That's
'cause
not.
It won't be like that.
Right. It is definitely going to incorporate a lot of our experiences and our stories and our own ideas about what's coming forward through the chapters.
Right. I think it's kind of like what you said a few minutes ago. Like, it's a conversation starter.
It's a guide.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're rich with experiences. So I feel like the guide is going to be like, the starting point, but it's going to end up coming through
sure.
as stories and sharing and
Right.
concepts of our own.
Right. So the format is a little bit different, only in that we're getting the start out of a book,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still us just talking.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's not really different. It's just a tiny bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
I am too. I think it'll be fun.
It will be fun.
And if we start doing it and it's not fun, then we'll just stop and we'll go back to our regularly scheduled program. We'll just figure it out.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Right. So, all right then.
So
End of this episode.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
All right. Mind Garden Media. Thank
As
you very
always.
much, Todd, for putting our episodes together, wrapping them up. Speaking of gifts,
In a bow.
tying it with a bow and handing it back. Easy peasy for us, not so easy peasy for him, I
No.
suspect. But every week, there it is in the finished folder.
Yep.
Easy for us to just pluck out and put it in all of the places where we have our podcast. So, thank you for that. If you're interested in doing a podcast, Todd's your guy. Mind Garden Media.
Reach out.
Yep, they're on Facebook. So you can find them there. Just search for Mind Garden Media.
Even if you're just thinking about it and want someone to bounce some ideas off of.
Yeah.
He is
It's
absolutely
a great resource.
He is
For sure.
100% expert level.
Yep, absolutely. And thank you to our listeners too. Your gift.
We are here because you are listening.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you entirely.
Yeah.
All of the platforms that we are out on, we thank you all for joining us, and here in our local area and honestly across the world at this point, which
right.
is really, really exciting.
It is.
Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned. There's always going to be some more.
Yeah, for sure.
We never really run out of things to talk about.
Every time I think, oh no, we're at the bottom of the barrel, Lisa says, girl, I got a whole list of things.
Tammy gets real scared. Like, really? We're just
I do.
talking about life.
Yeah.
Like, life doesn't
It
stop. So
That's true.
neither do our topics.
That's true.
So thanks for coming along with us.
Yeah, and sticking with us. So, all right, till next time then.
Bye.
See ya.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.